Unpopular opinions, we've all got them, and they all make us feel stupid. Here's one of mine. I like the 2DS. It seems that my enjoyment of the 2DS has drawn some hardcore 2DS haters into launching an airstrike on my house. Phooey. I have nothing, not even the food basement survived. I don't know where to go from here. Oh, thank God. Guys, we're okay, the 2DS is fine. The 2DS was an odd member of the 3DS family tree. A 3DS without the 3D, huh? It was announced in August of 2013 and it was met with a resounding, why? You take a 3DS, you remove the clamshell, and you remove the 3D? That's stupid. Of course Nintendo did it. The 2DS was geared towards kids since Nintendo gutted a handful of features while making it. It lowered the cost by $50, which made it more attractive to parents who were looking to get a 3DS for their kid. But since it lacked a couple of features from the 3DS, fans were upset that Nintendo made a gutted 3DS instead of making a newer, better 3DS. The 2DS released in October of that year, but I didn't get mine until Christmas of 2014. I was so excited when I got mine. I remember seeing it in toy magazines and I thought it looked really cool. I had a thing for 10-degree angles. I'd also asked my parents for a 3DS for the longest time, but they always said that it was too expensive. My brother got a 3DS and I was super jealous of him. Whenever we went anywhere, I had to play stinky old Super Mario 64 DS, while my brother got to play Mario Kart 7 in 3D Land. In case you're wondering, yes, this is my brother's 3DS. Do not ask how I got it. When I got my 2DS, I was ecstatic. I was so excited to finally be able to play 3DS games. And what was the first game I got with it? Mario 3D Land? Mario Kart 7? Super Smash Brothers? No, you dumb bitch, it was Sonic Classic Collection. Even though I wanted to play 3DS games, I was still happy with Classic Collection. I also got Pokemon X, but I thought it was boring, so I never played it that much. Classic Collection features Sonics 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and 2 and 3 with Knuckles. I had a lot of fun with these. I also sucked at them. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not really much of a 2D Sonic guy. I like the games and all, I've just never been downright in love with them like others. Also, I don't know why, but the idea of playing as Knuckles was just insane to me as an 8-year-old. Holy shit. Overall, Classic Collection is pretty solid. Would have been nice to see Sonic CD included, though. I did eventually play other 3DS games, though. I played my brother's copy of 3D Land and Mario Kart 7. Both are really solid. Pilot Wings was another cool one. It's nothing amazing. It really does just feel like the Island Flyover game from Wii Sports Resort, but it's a ton of fun flying around Woohoo Island. Tomodachi Life was another great one, too. I love the weird and goofy writing, and I played it non-stop. I'd love to see a sequel to Tomodachi Life on the Switch with more stuff. I know that Nintendo will probably just port the game over, but there's a chance they might just make a full-on sequel. It's gonna be a port, isn't it? Dark Moon was really good, but I already talked about it in my Year of Luigi video. Please go watch it. I remember on Black Friday of 2019, I got 2 games. One of them was Ocarina of Time. I never beat it, but I really enjoyed what I played. The other game was bad. One thing that kind of killed my 2DS for me was when I got my Switch. Since I could play huge games like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, it made it kind of hard to go back to the 2DS. It's not that I didn't like it or anything, I just like the Switch more. Like, why play 3D Land when I have 3D World and Mario Odyssey? Or why play Ocarina or Majora's Mask when I have Breath of the Wild or Skyward Sword? Why play Mario Kart 7 when I have Mario Kart 8? It also didn't help that the 2DS's design was fucking goofy. This thing is weird. There's some changes that were made to it that are better than the 3DS, but then there's changes that were an improvement, but are still bad. Like the size. The 3DS feels really tiny, and I know that everyone is always saying, my hands are really big, when talking about this thing, but it's true. It's just too small, and it makes long play sessions feel kind of uncomfortable. The 2DS is much larger than the 3DS, and it feels pretty nice. This is because there's no clamshell, but we'll talk about that later. The L and R buttons were another change. With the 3DS, the L and R buttons were quickie. The 2DS's L and R buttons are also quickie, but it also feels like they were trying to go for more of a trigger feel. The end result does not feel good. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I don't know. That's just how I feel. As for the other buttons, I love them. With the 3DS, it has those quickie buttons that the Joy-Cons use. Personally, I hate these. Whenever I push a 3DS button, I don't feel safe. They just don't feel good to mash. That coupled with the small size made using the 3DS feel really uncomfortable. The 2DS, though, uses those mashy buttons that the DS, Wii, and Wii U use. It feels so good to mash. Even the D-pad's got a nice mash to it. One button that's absolutely atrocious to push, though, is the home button. You know how the 3DS's home start and select button had that quickie feel to them? The 2DS feels like that, but now it's 17 times worse. It's so hard, it feels like I'm barely pressing it at all. The power button had this too, but at least it feels like I'm actually pushing something. It's like the 2DS took 2 steps forward with its design, and then took 1 step back. Most of the buttons on the 2DS feel great, but the L and R and home buttons feel like ass. And even though the 2DS is bigger, it kind of affects the convenience of it. I never understood the design for this thing. If it was made for younger kids, then why is it bigger than the 3DS? Wouldn't it make more sense to make it the same size, or God forbid, even smaller? Also, why is there no clamshell? With the 3DS, when you close it, it's no bigger than a phone. You can just slide it into your pocket, no problem. But since the 2DS is so big, you're just shoving a giant square into your pocket. My best guess is that they removed it to lower the price. But is this really all that expensive. But even with all its imperfections, I still love this thing. Really all I wanted out of this thing was to play 3DS games, and it allowed me to do just that. And even though the 3D was neat, it's not like I was gonna use it that much. It's the sort of thing where I turn the 3D on and I'm like, that's neat, and never use it again. Is it perfect? No. Was it necessary? No. Do I only like this thing out of nostalgia? Probably. But honestly, this thing isn't all that bad. If you can look past some of its flaws, it makes a pretty nice alternative to the 3DS. I still hate the home button though, seriously, f that thing. Great news, guys. Along with the 2DS, I also found some pocket money that I was able to trade for more money to rebuild the house. It was also the only money I have left. And now I have no money. Phooey.